What I am going to do today is I'm going to demonstrate for you. We started yesterday. I'm going to finish up demonstrating for you how you do the cost-benefit analysis. You'll need to watch closely, ask questions if we get to something that you're not quite sure about. It's not that terribly difficult, but you certainly are going to have to pay attention if you're going to get it right. All right, so if you will watch up on the screen here, you will see that obviously the very first thing you need to do is put your name on your paper. Please do not forget to do that, first name and last.
Do you have it?
You do not have it yet, but you will at the end of the period. Okay, so I'm just going to put my name in here. Period number is 7. The due date is going to be 8/31/09. Okay, and what we're doing is we're practicing the economic way of thinking. Remember, to think economically does not necessarily have to do with money, as long as it has to do with making good choices. Basically, that's what we're aiming at. The first thing you have to do is you have to make a choice. Now, remember yesterday I mentioned to you there's a difference between putting a topic or a word there and actually putting a choice there. Okay, I am going to make the choice to not do my homework. Okay. Now, I could have just as easily made the choice to do my homework. Would it have changed things? Yes, because the costs and benefits are different for not doing or doing. In some cases, they just flop over, but in some instances, it's not quite that easy. Now, when it comes to your doing this assignment, you cannot use the homework issue. That's off limits to you because I'm doing it right in front of you. You need to make a choice on your own. It doesn't matter to me what it is as long as it's not homework and it's a valid choice. You can make the choice to hit your little brother when he's irritating, or to not hit your little brother when he's irritating. To help your mom out by changing little Sally's diaper when she's messy. Okay? That has costs and benefits to it. You can make the choice to skip ball practice, or to go to dance class, or anything else for that matter. Skip doing your chores. Okay? The decision itself doesn't matter as long as you write it clearly so you know which way you're making the decision. Okay? Now, once you have made your decision, you can either do the benefits or the costs. It doesn't matter which one you do first. That's not even an issue that you need to worry about. So make sure that you choose which side you're going to do, and you stick with that side and only do the costs for making that decision. So we're going to look at the costs of not doing homework. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and write some up here. I think that one of the costs to not doing homework is less knowledge. If the homework is meaningful, this should be the case. I think that a cost of not doing your homework is angry parents. It's what you're giving up. Okay? You're giving up the respect of your parents if you don't do your homework. Right? Remember, a cost is anything you give up. Okay? So it could be, it doesn't necessarily have to be bad, but usually we look at it as a negative thing. Okay? The cost is usually a negative thing. Okay? I'm not going to take your suggestions just yet. I'm just going to write a bunch of them up here. You might have angry teachers. Okay, you could have punishments. Those could come from both teachers and parents. You could delineate what some of those punishments are. You maybe get grounded if your parents take that pretty seriously. You could lose other privileges. Yep, you could lose allowance. There could be any number of things. And this is why it's important that you do this for you, because not all parents do things the same way. Not all teachers do things the same way, right? Some teachers don't get angry at you if you don't do your homework. They just dock points if you turn it in late. Some teachers won't take it late, so you just get a 0. Other teachers get really mad and take off points. Okay? It all depends on your situation. Okay? So you could have just a regular loss of privileges. You could end up with, let's see, some bigger long-term things would be like maybe miss scholarships. Obviously, that is the case if you allow it to turn into a habit. Okay, if it turns into a habit, that's kind of funny. If it turns into a habit, which in this case would be a bad habit, it can affect things like scholarships or not going to good college. You know, you might still be able to go to college, but it might not be a good one until you've brought your grades back up. Let's see, what else could happen if you don't do your homework? What do you think? See, I forgot to put the bad grades down there, a very obvious one. Bad grades. Could affect your citizenship grades too, if teachers look at that as being bad citizenship to show up unprepared. Things like that. Other suggestions? Yes. What? No hangout time. Yeah, that would be loss of privileges or being grounded. Okay. Anything else you can think of? There might be more. Okay. Once you've gotten where you believe you've gotten all of your costs, then you want to come over and do benefits. Now, you can do benefits first. I don't care, but you've got to get them both. Okay. What are the benefits to not doing your homework? Let's see. I'm going to have more free time. Now, let me ask you a logical question here. How long does the free time last? Only as long as you would have been working on the homework, right? Because what happens if you have to do makeup work? Oh, there's something we didn't write over here. Okay, we may have to do makeup work. Okay, so your free time might end as soon as your makeup work starts. Then you have less makeup or less free time than you would have before if you'd just done it. Okay, so you might have more free time, and that would involve, let's see, sleeping. You could sleep if you want to. You could play games. You could text. You could sports. You could watch TV. You know, whatever it is that you do during your free time, right? Could be skateboarding. Could be beating up your little brother, you know, whatever it is you do for fun during your free time. Okay, so you're going to have more of that temporarily. Okay, what other benefits are there to not doing your homework? There got to be some, or everybody would do their homework. What? You could work at McDonald's? I don't think not doing your homework is going to allow that kind of time. Yes. What? You get a break from school. Okay, no school stress. Now, of course, this again is a temporary thing, right? Yeah, because once the makeup work starts, then you have more school stress than if you just did your homework. Okay, let's call it less mental stress. Okay. Are those legitimate things that you skip when you skip homework? Yeah. Until the makeup work starts, and then you have more mental stress. Okay. Other things. Anybody else think of another benefit to not doing your homework? No? All right. So if this is our entire list, if we've spent enough time, what? That would be more free time, right? All of these things, you can add friends in here. Wow, I can't spell friends. Yeah, you could go shopping. Of course, Once your parents find out and they take your allowance away, you got less shopping. Right? Okay? All right. Let's say this is our entire list. If you were to use your cost-benefit analysis properly, you would say, okay, I have this list. Legitimately and realistically, which side is heavier, the cost or the balance? Sorry, cost or benefit? Cost. So logic says, do your homework. You're going to end up with a few little benefits over here, but in the long run, your costs way outweigh the benefit of not doing your homework. Now, is that always the case? Is it exactly the same thing every day? No. There may be days where you have something that you really need to go to, and you would have to add that to your benefit over here, and that might outweigh this. Usually, again, it's a temporary issue, but it might be a very important temporary issue. Okay? What you have to realize, this is probably the worst thing you have to worry about, is your habit, the habits that you're developing. If you only don't do your homework one time, it's not going to be a big deal. I often found when I was in school getting straight A's that I could skip a homework assignment every now and then because I did really well on all my other ones, and I had so many points that skipping it once didn't matter. I probably didn't anyway, but I could have. Sometimes that you have to weigh in. Okay, but we're talking about, it looks like with these costs over here, we're talking about prolonged over and over again not doing your homework. Okay? So you would have to look at this and then use your cost-benefit analysis and say, okay, stupid idea to not do my homework, so I'm going to do my homework. Think about it. The same thing goes for hitting your brother. If you have a huge cost list for hitting your brother and only a tiny little benefit list, like made me feel better now, okay? If that's the only benefit, then it's probably wise not to hit your brother. Now, it would be nice if we didn't have to force you to think of these things. But human nature says, don't think about the cost. Because if you think about the cost, what are you not going to do? You're not going to make that bad choice, are you? So that's why we want you to think about the costs and the benefits. Okay, the benefit to running down the hall in the middle of passing period is probably very slim compared to the cost of getting hauled into the principal's office or running into somebody and knocking them down and hurting them and then getting called into the principal's office, or whatever the case might be. Okay? So, does everybody understand what I'm expecting of you from this homework assignment? Okay? You know you're not allowed to use the homework one, right? And you know that you've got to list all the costs and all the benefits. Remember, here's a big one. You must be honest with yourself. If you're not honest about the costs or the benefits, you will skew the accuracy of the analysis, and there's no point in doing it. Okay? So you've got to be honest. All right. If there are no questions, then I will hand out those worksheets to you, and I will let you get started.